My pleasure. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Amir Aein. I'm a product manager here at Tali, and I've been privileged to be involved in the team from the very beginning. Recently, I've been focusing on node customization, and I'm very excited to share some recent capabilities that we have released in the past few months regarding node customization and a few exciting things we have on the horizon. That's
Great. This is Mahshid Yassaei. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Tali. I'm a computer scientist by training. I studied at McGill and worked at BlackBerry as my first job. I wish I still could use my BlackBerry to this date. This is the second company that my co-founder and I are building at the intersection of software and healthcare. We started Tali in 2019 with the initial funding actually coming from Public Health Agency of Canada, where they gave us funding to do research on a state-of-the-art natural language processing algorithms and see if the accuracies were high enough for basically a voice interface for clinicians. We did 6 months of research. We built a prototype. This is 2020, early COVID times. And then I started talking to doctors, nurses, pharmacists, asking, like, does this resonate with you? Would you pay for something like this? As we were doing that, one of the large EMR companies here in Canada got interested. They invested in Tali, but they also partnered with us to closely co-design and co-build the product with their team over a year and a half before going publicly available in early 2023. So after that, we partnered with TELUS Health, and we just signed with QHR as well to be the official AI scribe integrated with the major EMRs in Canada. In the US as well, if you're joining, we have a few EMRs that we are integrated with, and you can find information about that on our website. Without further ado, I just want to jump into the demo. Today, what we're going to do is that we're going to start the webinar with a quick visit. We'll show you the node, some of the core functionalities for those of you who are new to Tali and new to AI scribes. And then Amil will take over and will use basically the same node that's generated and turns it into different customization methods and use cases. And you will see the power of customization in Tali and what are the options you can basically personalize your node style in Tali. Anything to add, Amir, or should we go in?
No, let's jump right in.
Okay, perfect. So hopefully you're seeing a patient chart on my screen. This is a small widget on the right side that I'm moving up and down. This is Tali. Very small and non-obstructive to the EMR. If you're using a desktop-based EMR like PS Suite or Accuro, you can use Tali's desktop app, and the same widget will show up in your desktop. You can move it at the corner of your desk, and basically it will be the same experience. When the patient walks into the room, I ask for their consent and start the visit with just one click of a button here. So I've started using this AI scribe tool that helps me with documentation. I'm sure you've seen the information sheet at the admin desk. Is it okay if I use the product?
Yeah, that's okay.
Amazing. Okay, what brings you in today?
So I've been having a really blinding headache for the past 2 weeks, on and off, not every day, but it's really bad.
Okay, sorry to hear that. Can you describe the pain a little bit?
So it's a pain that gets worse in bright places.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have right after the headaches hit, maybe in an hour or so, I get like my blood pressure, my heart rate goes up, and I kind of feel my heart pumping. Do you know that feeling? And checking my smartwatches as well, it shows like above 110. So I thought maybe that's not normal.
Okay. Do you feel a shortness of breath as well?
Mm.
No. Any history of migraine in the family? I'm just asking about the pain. Okay. Okay, hop on the seat. I'm gonna do a quick physical examination. It's kind of intimidating to do a physical or a medical visit in front of so many clinicians, but let's do it. Your blood pressure is 120 over 85. Your temperature is 37. That's fine. cardiovascular exam normal, eyes clear, ears clear, chest no wheezing, all clear. Hop on the scale for me. Let me measure your weight. 175 pounds. Okay, I see your chart in your chart that your height is 5.6. I think we need to take a look at this as well. You have had a recent weight gain, it seems, right?
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
struggling with it.
Anything change in your life, like work or your personal life? Are you experiencing more pressure or stress?
Yeah, work has been more stressful in the past month and a half or so. I've been working on weekends to catch up, but I don't feel necessarily more stressed by working. I just feel more tired.
Okay. Any medications that you're taking right now?
I'm on citalopram.
Okay. Yeah, I see. I have it in your chart. Are you still taking the 20 milligram?
Yeah, 20 milligram just every day.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Okay. Look, there are a few things going on. Given the history of heart issues you have in the family, we want to make sure that we take a quick look at your heart issues and the increased heart rate. I want to send you for Holter monitoring. So for 24 hours, we're just going to watch how your heart rate goes up and down. If you do activities during the day, please continue with your normal activities. If you go for a walk, etc., that's good for the monitor to take all of those fluctuations. Based on the results of that, I might send you to a cardiologist and refer you there. I might even put you in the wait list while we're waiting for the results of the monitor. I'm going to send you for a complete blood work as well. I want to check your overall health. I think the last time you did your CBC was more than a year ago, so it's time for your annual checkup as well. In terms of your weight management, I'm going to refer you to a nutritionist. We want to have a close eye on that. But while you're waiting, I want to make sure that you drop your carbohydrate intake immediately. I'm not asking you to stop eating sugar, but I want you to reduce it significantly. So no chocolate, no cookies, no rice or bread moving forward, very limited amount. And I want you to do intense exercises at least 4 or 5 times a week to a level that you actually feel active. You start sweating, hopefully, and that will help with the weight management as well. When nutritionist sees you, they will give you a more a complete plan. Any questions so far?
No, just should I take this seriously? That sounds really serious.
I would take this seriously. Yes, it is. It is important given the history of your family. I think we should start taking a close look. Hopefully, it's nothing, but the cardiologist will be able to do a deeper dive. Are you seeing your psychologist? When was the last time you met them?
Maybe a month ago.
Okay, so you're in touch with them. That's great. If you want to talk about your mental health with me as well, we can do that in the next visit, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so when the visit is done, you just click on this green button and Tali will start synthesizing. So as you saw, it really takes 1 or 2 seconds for the note to be generated. I have my default template that's solve multiple issue because in primary care, most of the time the visits are more than one issue. So broken down to headache and weight gain, blinding headache for the past 2 weeks, pain worsened in bright places associated with increased heart rate, no shortness of breath, family history of migraines. Weight gain, recent weight gain noted, increased work stress over the past month and a half, and current medication citalopram 20 milligram daily. Objectives broken down to vital signs and physical examination as was measured. And then assessment and plan also broken down to all the items one by one. So for headache, we said we're going to do Holter monitoring for 24 hours, referring to cardiologist and complete blood work. Recent weight gain referring to a nutritionist, advising reduced carbohydrate intake and intense exercises, and then discussing mental health in the next visit and follow up with the psychologist. So if I want to make any edits to this, I can do that. Maybe I would say the blood pressure was actually 84 and save changes. And then with this click of a button, I can auto-populate all the pieces inside the EMR. So if you're in on any of the Canadian EMRs, PSS, MedAccess, Oscar, this auto-populate is either live already or is coming very, very soon in the next month or so. If there are things that I noticed during the visit, but I didn't feel comfortable narrating in front of the patient, I can dictate directly. So I can say the patient looked a little pale overall, period. I want to check on their complete health status when they're back in 2 or 3 weeks, period, new line. So I can come back here with this generate button. I can generate additional notes. So I can say I want the patient summary and I also want a referral letter. So there's so many different options available here that you can basically generate different notes from the same transcription. So this is the patient summary, everything that was discussed in a simple language, specifically broken down to the next action items for the patient. These are all the core functionalities. I'm not going to talk about the details here. Amil will take over and talk about the customization. Just stealing 1 second to show you this resume encounter, which was frequently requested by clinicians. So I want to make sure you have seen it. It's only released 2 or 3 weeks ago. So after a patient visit is done and the note is generated, you can still go back and start appending to the visit. And basically, when you do done, the note is updated with the additional information you just added. Play around with it and let us know what you think. Passing it to you, Amir, for your part.
All right, thank you for that demo. Okay, let's see if I can share my screen. That should be coming through right now, right? Mahshid, can you confirm?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to, as I said before, I'm going to explicitly talk about note customization today. But we need to take a step back. So thinking about the value proposition of Tali and how we think we can kind of reduce the burden of clinical documentation from physicians, we kind of see it under these 4 main pillars. The first one, which will be the focus of this webinar and was the focus of a previous webinar that we did, is to generate notes that require the minimum amount of edits. After that, we want to make sure that we can produce documentation that can cover 100% of patient visits, so not just some types of visit, but all types of visits. And thirdly is about just a seamless way to transfer the information into your EMR, as Mahshid shared, the auto-population one-click capabilities are on the way. And then lastly is that to find ways within the workflow of a clinic to see if we can utilize AI to save more time and help with other tasks as well. So focus of this webinar, similar to the previous one, would be number 1, creating notes that require minimal edits. I'm referring to the previous webinar so much. Just a quick recap of what we talked about there is that we have identified 6 dimensions to note quality. Note quality is such a big word that could mean many things. And for us to understand what each of those different instances and requirements actually mean and how it would impact the documentation, legal aspects, everything, we have broken them down into these 6 dimensions. Readability and coherence, completeness, correctness, section relevance, professionalism, and formatting and style. I'm not going to be going deep into these different categories as that was the previous webinar. I'm sure we can manage to kind of send the recording or some kind of a reference to the previous webinar to the attendees, but it was important for us to have that context of the note quality in general and how we see that.
Mm-hmm.
In this webinar specifically today, I'm going to talk about note customization, and I should start from Tali's approach to templates. Templates is a hot topic. Everyone knows templates. Every EMR has templates. Every AI scribe has templates. So I need to clarify how we see that. So the note quality I just talked about, we believe that it could be achieved via a layered method. So the very base foundation of a good quality note is just adhering to documentation best practices, just things that are are communicated through the education system and governments require, health authorities requirements and all that stuff. So we have been focusing on this foundation from day one back in 2020 to kind of improve upon that. On top of that, we want to create a number of different templates, structures that can produce notes and documents. And we don't want to just add 100, 200 templates and lose track of how they perform. We want to have a small number of templates that are highly optimized, and we can ensure that they perform well, and we can keep track of their performance. Currently, we have a family of SOAP note templates for different cases of a SOAP note structure. We have consult letters for different specialists. Just recently, we released psychiatry consult template, and we are planning to release more templates for specialists on a bi-weekly basis moving forward. We have letters, for example, the one that Mahshid showed you, patient summaries or referral letters or all kinds of letters. And moving forward, we will be focusing on additional documents as well. So that's the second layer, a skeleton or a structure of a note or document. But this will get you so far. These are just general rules, general requirements that will adhere to 80%, 85% of people or 85% of cases, but won't adhere to all cases or all people. Everyone has their own preference, everyone has their own requirement based on their practice, their specialty, and so on. So this is where the note customization comes in. And that's the part that each user can kind of personalize and customize their note to their liking. Right now, that is doable through two main capabilities. One is template custom instructions, and second is smart edits. I'm going to talk about both of them in detail. Okay, let's start with template custom instructions. First of all, you can access that very easily from your settings page. You go to your setting, choose the template that you have in mind. For example, here I'm in my SOAP settings, as you can see at the top, and you see a text box open in the text box that you can write whatever you want in. So via these template custom instructions, you can customize the headings and subheadings and reorder them from a note that you're creating. You can explicitly mention that you want a certain piece of information to be included or excluded. You can personalize the writing style and tone of the note, and you can create macros if you reuse snippets of text often based on what is discussed in the session. You can just specify that as an instruction here as well. Next, just overview is smart edits. So the main difference between template custom instructions and smart edits is that you kind of specify these instructions at a template level before even a visit happens. But smart edits happen after a note is actually generated. So as Mahshid showed you guys earlier, at the very bottom of a generated note, you see an action bar with that blue copy button. Just beside that, there's a button called a smart edit. If you click on that, this drawer, this screen pops up with some options at the top and a text area, a text box that you can write whatever you want in. For example, you can say to add patient quotes in the subjective. You can say that we did discuss some stuff about the smoking, but we don't need any of that in the notes. Remove everything regarding the smoking. If the name is written in a different way, you can just specify that instead of going to each instance of that name and manually editing that. You can, if you want to send the produced note directly to the patient and they may be able to read the note in another language that is not natively supported in Tali, you can just translate the note as well. So the possibilities are endless, anything that you can think of. So that is the smart edit part. This was a very high level definition of these two capabilities. The way that I would like to explain what is possible through these two features or capabilities is to go through ways that clinicians actually use these instructions to personalize and customize their notes. So we can see what is possible. As you have already seen, both of these have a very open-ended nature. So anything that you can think of, anything that you can articulate, you can kind of manage. So let's go through these examples and see what different people have.
Yeah, this is very interesting because just adding a note that we launched the Smart Edit first and then custom instructions per template. And we had some ways, and if you see that predefined options at the top is what we were hearing from clinicians on how they would like their notes to be modified. But when you started actually using this smart and custom instructions, the examples were very smart, and it was very helpful to us as well, understanding what is it exactly that you want in your note. So as Amir said, all the examples we're going to go through are the exact examples that clinicians have used to customize their notes, and we're going to show, and you will get an idea of like the extreme cases you can actually customize the notes. Let's go through that.
Exactly. So to help demonstrate how all of these examples are possible, I have applied them to the same session that we demoed at the very beginning with Mahshid. So imagine that the note that Mahshid created is always on the left, and based on that instruction, you can see a new version on the right. So the first one is about just changing the formatting of the plan section. So on the left, you can see that the plan is categorized based on the issue that was discussed, but this person wanted this kind of different way of organizing the information. They specified it in a very articulate and detailed manner, and you can see that the same information is translated there. Next one is about documenting and changing the entire sections and subsections of the note. So on the previous example, they wanted to change how plan is organized. In this one, they wanted to organize the entire note in a different way. So they have provided this whole new sections and subsections, and the same information is carried over and presented in that regard. This gives me an opportunity to share something, a useful example. So the example on the right, if you see the very first sentence has the word reported. We have seen this in a number of feedback items that sometimes the word reported or similar words might be repeated throughout the note. And that is one of the aspects and kind of natures of LLM, because it's not fully deterministic. Maybe one or twice every 200 notes or 150 notes, some repetition might happen. I was not able to reproduce that for the purposes of this demo, so you can imagine that this note has lots and lots of reported. Just bear with me. In this case, this clinician was very explicit and articulate in how they want that reported or repetition to be removed. If you see on the second sentence, so they say leave out reports when comments on the when making comments, and they have provided an example. So instead of saying this, write this. That helps the LLM very greatly in understanding what the user intention is. So I wanted to take that opportunity and share that. Next item is about specifying how specific parts of the information is kind of organized. So on the left, you can see that on the very last line of the subjective, there's a mention of the medication that we discussed during the session, but they wanted the medication to have its own separate section and be written in that specific format of medication name, dosage, and all that. So, and on the right, you can see that that is done in the subjective. Create a BMI. So this is kind of an intelligent way that you might provide a macro that doesn't apply every time. Sometimes it might apply. So this instruction says calculate BMI in the objective section given height and weight. So if in the conversation they do talk about weight and height, then it goes and calculates the BMI and adds it in the appropriate part of the objective as well. this is another example of a macro. So this person was very smart about this. So they explicitly say, when I say this phrase during the conversation, go ahead and rewrite it or use this snippet of text as the normal examination for cardiovascular exam or respiratory exam. So you can see that on the right, we have that those snippets inserted because Mahshid explicitly mentioned those phrases in the conversation. So these instructions are a great way to create those macros as well. You can be very intentional and use them in very different ways. So this one was an example of one or two specific macros of normal physical exam. We had another very great example that a clinician provided a whole list of all different kinds of physical exams. And the important thing here is that they didn't specify their instruction. They didn't say that if the physical examination was normal, write this. Instead, they started by providing a very detailed and easy to understand example. It would be the same as if they were speaking to me or explaining that to me as a person. So this is the way that I document normal examination, meaning that whenever normal examination in any of these categories were discussed or mentioned, this is the way that they need to be documented. I thought this was a very interesting way of kind of creating all those macros in one go.
Overall, it seems like, Amir, that putting instructions, whenever you give an example, you're really increasing the chances that Tali's backend will pick up on those and actually respond to them. So anytime you give an example, just add an instruction, just add an example, and it will work much better.
Exactly. Being articulate, being detailed, providing examples, writing the instruction with proper punctuation, all of this help avoid any kind of confusion. It's very similar to how I might be confused about a sentence if it has some ambiguity, or if I may combine two words incorrectly, quotation marks can help me understand that. It's very similar to that. Okay, next example is about just asking for information to be included. So normally with our SOAP multiple sections, some information might be some advice about, let's say, Mahshid talked about some general working out advice or things like that, and those might be omitted because not every physician needs all of that in their notes and deem them unnecessary. But this person not only wanted all of that information to be included, but they wanted it in a specific section, not to be confused with other parts of the note. So they mentioned that they want the advice part in a separate part under the plan part section. Next one is about consent of using Tali. So it is something that it's an example of a macro in a way. It's a snippet that will be added at the beginning of all notes. We have had physicians that kind of specify that statement themselves. So in quotations, they say this exact 2 sentences as the consent disclaimer, but this person was even smarter than that and just said, just provide me a disclaimer about the consent, and the LLM or the AI actually provides the content as well. So those were the examples that we've kind of prepared. I hope they did a good job of demonstrating all the different ways that these customization capabilities can kind of help you personalize and make Tali your own. I really love the open-ended nature of these 2 capabilities. And there are many, many more ways that I can't even imagine at this moment that it could be used to kind of manipulate the note. So I encourage everyone to go and kind of play around with this custom instructions and smart edits and see how they can kind of make their notes closer to what they have in mind and reduce the amount of manual edits that they do. But this all was a starting point. Smart edits and template custom instructions is just the beginning of the customization route. We have a number of enhancement to both of these features in mind in the near future 3-4 months, and we have planned all of this, and we're going to deliver just gradually. But I would love to take this opportunity. I'm kind of sharing this news about the near future, but I'm going to take this opportunity and ask for your input as well. So Mahshid, if you can just put the vote on in place.
Yeah.
So I'm going to quickly give a voiceover about all of these items and what they mean. So, and everyone, if you could just choose your top 3 options that you think are beneficial to you, that would be amazing. So number 1 is just using your voice for smart edits. For those who have tried smart edits before, you have to type your instruction. This way it reduces the time and effort that it takes to kind of provide those edits. Secondly is saving smart edits for later. So let's say there is a smart edit that I do in 50% of my visits, and I want to save it so that every time I wouldn't have to type it or say it or anything like that. So that's just saving it for later. Number 3 would be saving smart edits as a template instruction. So that frequency might be so high that it's actually better, works better as a template custom instruction. I want all of those, all of my templates of that kind to have that instruction, so I can kind of play around with smart edits. And when I find the right instruction that works well to my liking, then I would save it as a template custom instruction. Number 4 is just having predefined options per template specific one. So as you see, I previously showed the smart edit capability. At the top, you had examples. We are kind of aiming to create those examples specific to different kinds of templates that make the most sense. So for example, the current examples might not be as useful in a, say, patient summary as they are as useful in the SOAP family. For template custom instruction, number 5 is just providing some information about how all these different templates differ and the use cases that they can be used, and possibly with previews of how they would look. That's number 5. Number 6 is a way to quickly add a macro. You've seen in the examples that macros is a frequently used use case of template custom instructions. So we can create a way to quickly do that and help save time on that. Number 7 would be template specific note styles, meaning that you can specify that this in my SOAP note in the objective section, I want the note to be bullet point, but the subjective section, I want it to be paragraph, for example. So each template would have those set of settings, and you can just manipulate that with to your liking. And number 8 would be just creating a template from scratch. No optimization. I just want to type the template that I have. I don't care if you optimize it and make it work the way and match the make it perform as well as the SOAP and other ones. I just want this structure. Give me a template on that, and I'll take the template custom instructions and personalize it further myself. Did that all make sense? Was that clear?
It was a lot, but yeah, but almost 50% of participants have voted already.
Okay.
The votes are coming in, but it seems like so far using voice in a smart edit is one of the popular ones. Saving a smart edit as template custom instructions is popular. Creating a template from scratch seems to be, and quickly adding a macro seems to be popular as well.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
And also makes me happy because that's kind of the order that we
Yeah.
are.
Okay, amazing.
our roadmap as well. So
Yeah, 32
not
clinicians have participated so far. Okay, we're just gonna wait another 10 seconds and we're gonna close the poll and get to your questions. I have received 28 questions that we can go through. Please use the Q&A button here at the bottom. I just heard that you don't see each other's questions, but we see all of them, so we're just gonna go through them one by one. But please continue to use the Q&A button for your questions. Okay. I'm gonna end the poll now. Thank you. Okay, share the results. How do I is everybody sharing the results? Seeing the results? No.
I'm seeing the results, but I
Okay.
don't.
Yeah, okay, amazing. So that looked, we're gonna take it on the product side and we'll act based on that. Thank you. Okay, so Amir, I'm gonna answer some of the easy questions myself, send you the tough ones, and we're gonna go through them one by one. Dr. Ravinder Agrawal is asking, what happens if I want to do my referral generation, but then I want to continue the same interview on other items? So I think the question is, let's say there are 3 items or 4 items discussed in a visit, and I want to generate my referral on one of the items. I think that is the question. How would they do that?
Okay, so right now we are actually working on improving the experience of creating letters per issue or per topic that is spoken in a session. But right now, that's actually one great use case of smart edits. So after you've created your note and you've transferred your note to your EMR, you can just use the smart edits and say, okay, for this specific issue, create a referral letter, so.
So a smart edit is basically after the referral is generated, they can just say, like, give the command and they will change the referral letter however they want it, basically based on
Even before that,
right.
They can use the referral letter as well. But let's say they're on the SOAP. They can, a smart edit is so powerful that it can produce completely new documents from that summary.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Agrawal, if that answered your question, great. If not, let us know and we can clarify. Dr. Stevenson is asking that we send them the link to the previous webinar. I already passed your name, so you're going to receive a link. Question from Dr. Stevenson is, I would like to see a telephone visit template. Can I add style changes like asking each section to be bolded and line spaces between sections?
Line spaces for sure. Bolded can be done right now. It depends on EMR, what EMR you're on. So, but it could be done. We are looking to making that styling of text bold or other kind of ways that clinicians might style the text based within our EHR integrations, because each EHR works in a different way, so we have to kind of optimize for each one.
Amazing. Okay. Our own Colin is asking, how do hallucinations play a role if customers are able to create their own template from scratch?
So even if we offer the capability to create templates from scratch, it is going to, if you remember the pyramid shape that I kind of shared at the very beginning of my slides, the foundation is going to be there. The general best practices will never go away. But the middle layer, which was the optimized templates that we have created, that would be replaced with the kind of non-optimized user-created template. So the chance of hallucinations or other performance issues is higher than our normal SOAP or other things that we've been working on day and night for 1-2 years. But it's not like we're just creating documents and don't have any additional learning from these past 2 years to help with that.
Okay, Great. All questions seem to be difficult, so I'm going to send them all to you. The next question is from Kevin. He's asking, looks great. It often misspells the name of a specialist. Can I import a list of specialists that I usually refer to that would be included as a template customization? There may also be other lists that I would like to import. With ChatGPT, I can attach a file containing such list. Could Tali be set up to do this?
So right now, the capability to attach different files is not there. And we are, for those kind of general requirements, for example, name of specialist or medical terminology, we are doing optimization to help and fix all of that on our own. But in the meantime, you can definitely provide that list as a template custom instruction and specify the ones that it makes mistakes on.
So what do they say in their custom instruction? So let's say I would go to my solve multiple issue, click on custom instruction, and I paste the whole list of all the specialists I usually refer to. But what do I say at the top?
You can say, so this is how I would articulate that exactly the same way that you wrote it in the chat. So sometimes names of specialists are written incorrectly. This is the correct list. If any of these were mentioned, write them as is.
Oh, wow. Okay, amazing. I'm actually curious to try it myself and as well and see if it will spell my name correctly if I do that. Okay. Joe Man is asking, for the export to the EMR for PS Suite, do I need to have the patient open to the note part to get the note export? Yes. So in PS Suite, you would launch Tali from the patient chart. We're going to have short videos that explain exactly how the integration with PS Suite work. But basically, if you launch Tali from the patient chart, you do the visit exactly as we did it. And then when you're done, when you click on put in or copy into the EMR, it will update that patient chart. I just need to tell you that the auto-populate on PS Suite is going through beta testing right now. So it's not live, generally available to everybody, but it's coming very soon in the next, hopefully, 3 weeks. Both Telos needs to verify that, and we are doing verification through the beta test. Vicky Forrester is asking, how's the microphone activated? Do we need to purchase a microphone? This is easy, I'll do that. So when you install Tali AI, the first time you start a visit, if you're doing the Chrome extension, it will ask for permission. And like there will be a small pop-up on the top left side of your screen. You give permission and your default microphone is activated. Any default microphone would work. If you don't have any microphone on your machine, what you can do is that you can purchase a very cheap microphone, $20, $30 from Amazon, and that would work. In our knowledge base, there is a section that will recommend microphones, I hope. Everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say Tali's knowledge base. Let me quickly show that because it's important. So go to help.tali.ai. I'm going to share my screen 1 second. You just need to promise that you don't judge my desktop. Okay, great. So here, this is Tali's knowledge base. So if you see, it's called help@tali.ai. So if I say microphone, do I need a special microphone? It explains everything that I just said. And at the end, it has a list of microphones that we have tested, and they are cost effective and they work great. So you can take a look at that there. For any other questions as well, please make sure that you look into our knowledge base. That would probably be the fastest for you. Okay. David Withing is saying limited characters available when editing templates.
So right now, for the purposes of keeping the performance and latency to a minimum, we have incorporated the character limit in both smart edits and custom instructions. We have made an update recently, so your needs may have been kind of covered in a recent, I think 2 weeks ago release. But if we see that more information, clinicians require more information to specify the instruction, we can change that as well. That's a great feedback though.
Yeah. We need to get to that quickly. Okay, Dr. Agarwal is saying that we did not answer the question. They're saying that what they meant is that when I'm partly done with the appointment, then do referral letter, then my appointment is continued on other topics, but the note is checked out. So that is not possible. So you can't do this in the middle of the visit. But the suggestion that Amir was saying was to address this requirement without the exact workflow that you mentioned. So not in the middle of the visit, but after the visit is done, and you have like 4 different items in the note, you can do the referral letter, but then say, do it only for that. And Tali will be smart enough to generate it as if the referral letter was generated halfway through the visit. I hope it is a little more clear now. Okay, Kieran Baines is saying, what happens to the recordings of the consultations? Are they saved in external system or deleted? So Tali doesn't keep the audio file, so we don't keep the patient voice, which includes the biometrics of the patient. The mobile app has an offline mode, so basically means that if you're disconnected from the internet, we keep the audio files just as long as internet is connected, then we do the transcription. But as soon as the transcription is generated, the audio file is dropped. If by recording you didn't mean the audio, but you meant the transcription, the transcriptions are stored on Tali's servers, but they are processed and stored in Canadian servers. So they are not on your machine, they are on a remote server. Sampa Das is saying, how can I choose which one to choose to download Tali? I'll try for free. I have PSS EMR, Chrome extension or desktop. For PS Suite, if you want to use the integrated version, you don't need to install anything. You reach out to us and say you want the integrated version. We work with TELUS. TELUS will activate Tali on top of your PSS instance, and you can just launch Tali. If you don't want to try the integrated version, for PSS, the best solution is our desktop app. So if you go on Tali's install page, the desktop version is shown to you based on which machine you're connecting from. If it's a Mac, it will show you the Mac option. If it's Windows, you'll show the Windows option and you can download. David Whitting is saying, how do I stop labs from showing up in subjective? Oops, I cannot resolve this.
We've been working on a number of kind of best practices on how to write instructions to make sure that they are followed by the AI model. And I think it kind of depends on how you have phrased that. I kind of alluded to that in the presentation, that being articulate, writing it in a specific format, for example, writing headings or key information in quotations, or not using negative verbs. So instead of don't use this, using positive words, that helps. But we're working on a number of kind of pro tips, so to speak, to share and make available publicly. I think that will be the most helpful.
Can I, on behalf of you, can I promise Dr. Whitting that you're going to reach out and help him create a custom instruction that will solve that problem specifically for him, and while we're waiting for the pro tips to come in? Yeah,
if they have the time and they're willing to be a bit more than this,
we're going to reach out and help with this specific example quickly in a 15-minute meeting. Okay. Kevin Sampson, please send me a link to the previous webinar as well. Thanks. Perhaps, yeah, absolutely. We'll do that. And we'll have, I was thinking about this, we'll have a web page with all the previous webinars. Thank you for that. Joe Mann, would you be able to show demo for PS Suite? Absolutely. We'll have a short, not right now, but we'll have a short videos. Like if you look at our YouTube channel, you'll see those short videos that we create. We're preparing one for PS Suite as well. It's going to go live very soon. We'll make sure to send you a personalized note when the video is ready. Lisa Stevenson is saying, sorry, do you have a telephone visit template? Yes, you did ask that question. I forgot to answer. We don't have a telephone visit template, Amir.
We don't have that, but there is an other initiative that we're working on, and that is to get the visit context, patient context at the beginning or middle of the recording. And one dimension of the visit context or type of visit is the in-person versus virtual nature of that. Right now, however, a smart edit might be the best. If all of your visits are phone consults, template custom instruction would be a good way around that. If some of them are phone visits, I would recommend smart edits.
Amazing. Okay. Keith Thompson. So smart edit is editing per note, i.e. each note has its own edit custom template. Custom template is the way to reproduce the output repeatedly. Exactly. And the template customization is stored in memory then? Yes. This is awesome feature. Repeated out of words like report can be removed by using custom template. That's yes. Or is it a custom edit only feature? You can do it both ways. You can have it on custom, you can have it on a smart edit, or you can have it on custom instructions. Christine Pederkin, you mentioned that Tali can calculate BMI if given the necessary values. Can it be asked to populate other scores if given the appropriate information in the discussion? For example, Framingham score, CHA2, DS2, VASC scores.
Unfortunately, I'm not educated enough to know what that is. I assume that it's something similar to BMI, and the short answer is yes.
Yep. Please go ahead and try. If it didn't work, let us know. We can help you with that. Keith Thompson, are you integrated in QHR now? We have signed the contract with QHR. We are going through their security and privacy review. Hopefully that will be done in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Sometime in Q4, we'll go live with Akura as well. David, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, Hailey. Unfortunately, I was late joining. Please, could you send me links related to the use of Tali with med access to my email? Absolutely. We're going to send you a personalized email so you have that. Okay. Joe Man, one of my friends uses Epic and was wondering if that's supported for full integration. Tali is a vetted partner of Epic. So if the site that they have is, if it's a hospital, if it's a large healthcare system, if they reach out to us, we can activate Tali under Epic instance. For sure. We have gone through their security privacy review and the integration process with them. Anonymous attendee is asking, are AirPods going to work or any Bluetooth AirPods?
So I'm assuming that you're referring to a virtual visit. If that virtual visit is done through a web-based telehealth platform, there are some platforms that let you make calls. If you use one of those, yes, AirPods can definitely work.
Makes. Okay. Dr. Agrawal is asking, how do I add a list of names of doctors? So you go to custom instructions. So go settings, templates, custom instructions. Just paste the name of doctors. Add a sentence at the top says the name of the doctors are usually misspelled. So when I mention a name, use a list for the right spelling. Try that. If it didn't give you the exact response you want, reach out to us. We'll go on a quick 10-minute video call with you and fix it together. Page Hacking is saying, when will we be able to use a smart edit for SOAP combined A and P template? It's already live.
So both template custom instructions and smart edits are currently available for all templates. So it's not only for SOAP or only for SOAP multiple issues. Any template that you use within Tali, any note or document that you create, you can use both of these items on them.
Amazing. Sampadas, I want to try integrated version. Whom should I contact? Please reach out to help@tali.ai and we will set you up. I assume you're on Telos EMRs. Help@tali.ai and we'll respond. Rachel Garland, will we get a recording of this webinar? We'd like to share it with the rest of clinicians. Absolutely. Can I use this for meeting with our group and staff? how would I frame this template?
I'm not sure if I understand the question. Can you reframe the?
I think the question is that, like, let's say clinicians in the clinic have this meeting together, and it's a staff meeting, not with the patient. Can they use Tali to generate notes from those meetings?
Yes, we actually have a number of clinicians that have done that in template custom instructions.
Okay.
Exactly as you mentioned there. It's not a patient visit, it's a discussion between different physicians and so on.
Paige is clarifying that she didn't mean a smart edit for some combined of A and P template. She meant custom template, but custom template is also available for.
I think recently there was an issue that it was not available in some instances, but the team is working on fixing that. It will be fixed very soon.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Is anyone working on having the voice-to-text functionality learn to differentiate between timbres of different people speaking, so it can determine who is speaking rather than a single long voice text?
That is a very good question, and we have another initiative to kind of help improve the quality of our voice-to-text technology. We're internally calling it a voice speaker detection, which will work exactly as you said. This is not a small task. This is not an easy task. We have put some resources on that, but it's going to take some time, but we are working on it.
Amazing. Okay. Keith is asking, I see where this is going. Eventually, you will be able to pull parameters from the EMR that were not necessarily in the encounter, prior labs, HbA1c to custom diabetes or BP readings for review on specific chronic diseases.
Exactly. That's the North Star of our integrations with different EMRs. The more connection we can make between information on Tali within the session and in the patient profile, the more useful the notes will be.
Amazing. Okay. We're out of time. I'm just going to go quickly through the last few questions. Can I also have an email about the use of Tali with MedAccess? Dr. Kieran Baines, we're going to reach out. Anonymous attendee, when will full integration take access with MedAccess? Very limited right now. We are waiting for an issue to be fixed on the TELOS side. So TELOS needs to fix something. As soon as they do that, we'll do the auto-populate functionality on MedAccess. Unfortunately, that's blocked by TELOS right now. Brenda McDonald, I would also like information specific to MedAccess integration. Please, we're going to reach out to you specifically, Dr. McDonald. Rachel Garland, exactly, Mahshid, thank you. Valerie Lewis, can you send me links to previous webinars? We'll absolutely do. Can you send that answer to me by email? Dr. Agrawal, absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure to be spending this time with you. I hope you got some useful information from this. The recording is going to be shared as well if you want to share it with other clinicians, and looking forward to seeing you again in a month and a half.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. It was a pleasure.
Take care. Bye.